Well, hello out there. It is DannyDealz coming at you with another exciting episode of Un Poco Mas, the show where we try to give you just a little bit more. Today's show is presented by executive producer extraordinaire Hurricane Lopez. Today, I would like to talk to you about Jaguar Health Inc., ticker symbol JAGX. Jaguar Health has earnings coming up tomorrow. I would like you to, down in the comments, tell me what do you think the sales are going to be this last quarter, and more importantly, is there any news coming up? Because there's sure been a lot of news in the last week or two. Want to run through all of that with you. But I would love for you guys to tell me what do you think is going to happen with the earnings, and after earnings come out, how do you think that is going to affect the price action of the stock? We've had quite a bit of news. Let me share my screen with you here. Jaguar Health on Friday was up 2 cents and then down 5 cents after hours, sitting at about 92 cents. Just an interesting fun fact, the stock was sitting at exactly 48 cents on April 24th. So the stock has more than doubled in about 3 weeks. That is not normal for a large company if you are in large cap, sort of a blue chip type investor, but for these very, very low micro cap, tiny cap, no cap, penny stocks, doubling in a couple of weeks is not unusual at all. This stock has fallen from like over $1 million a share, split adjusted, down to 48 cents, and then it popped back up over $1 ever so briefly, and it appears to be settling back in the 90s before earnings. So, one of the things I would like to go over with you guys is this 8K for Jaguar Health that was filed last week on the date of the report was May 8th, but it was actually filed I think on the 12th. Anyway, this goes over the offering, the pipe offering that CEO Lisa has talked about. Just going into the press release, she goes ahead and talks about this pipe. It is a basically the pipe. Just to go through all of this 94-page filing. I can't synthesize all of it. I just got back from vacation. I'm trying to read through it, and I have read through it, but I need to read it at least one more time in some areas to fully understand it. But it looks like 3.4 million shares, and then the option to buy 6.8 million warrants, and it all goes off at 48 cents, which I think was basically like the all-time low of the stock. And this is not new investors. These are previous Jaguar Health investors um, that, have been in Jaguar Health. They're agreeing to like a standstill agreement where they're essentially pushing out their financing in exchange for a bunch more of these dirt cheap shares. So we're talking about dumping again 10 million more shares at 50 cents a share. So, and there's also a cashless exercise available in some of these shares. So for like 2 million bucks now, they're giving away another 10 million shares of stock at the end of the day. There's only about 14 million shares currently, so you can see this is another massive dilution. The good news is there is some lockup on this, that these investors have agreed not to sell Jaguar shares until the latter of January 1st, 2024, or until shareholders approve this financing at a shareholder meeting. Um, CEO Lisa, this financing involves a small group primarily composed of dedicated long term Jaguar investors. Pursuant to the terms of the PIPE purchase agreement, each participating investor agreed not to sell or transfer any Jaguar equity securities for a period commencing on the signing of the agreement and ending 6 months after the PIPE closing. There are no anti dilution, reset, or variable pricing rights associated with the securities issued in the PIPE. We believe this financing illustrates the confidence that the participating investors have in the company and the expectation that both the on target trial and our focus on development of proof of concept for crofelemer for the rare disease indications of short bowel syndrome with intestinal failure and congenital diarrhea disorders will prove transformational in 2023 for Jaguar value recognition. Listen, And then there's also another section that says going through October 2022, a time period that extends to the expected release date of the primary endpoint for the on-target trial. The company will not affect enter into da da da. Basically, they're not going to issue any more stock, not going to dilute any further until that P3 readout comes out. And if that is what the company and what I am expecting it to be, you're going to, at that point, have a very, very high likelihood the drug is going to get that P3 approval. And I believe finally that will be actually transformational for Jaguar in terms of value recognition. It's a double-edged sword because you're getting some cash and you're getting a lot of dilution, but you get a lot of dilution with Jaguar all the time. And I was just buying shares at 48 cents area, so I can't really, get mad at larger institutional investors for wanting that same price. However, more dilution is not good. The fact that there's not going to be any more dilution for the next 6 months and they have cash to get to that point is good. So it's just kind of a double edged sword with these offerings. You need them, you hate to do them, you hate the dilution, but you need the money, and it is actually a vote of confidence that some of these smaller investment houses are willing to, pitch in another $2 million, because if they didn't think the drug had value and they didn't think the company had value, they still wouldn't put in $2 million for any percentage of the company. Like, why? Unless they're, going to short it, run pump and dumps, that kind of thing, which of course is a possibility. And that's why I think Jaguar put in those conditions on the money that these companies couldn't go ahead and sell Jaguar shares. There are more than one way to short a stock, though, so there's all kinds of games that can be played. But in any case, guys, I encourage you, if you have time, at least glance at this 8K. It is extremely important if you're a Jaguar investor. I'm going to try and read through these 94 pages again so I can digest it and bring you any details that I missed. Again, just want to run through the latest news on Jaguar Health. Plans to file its earnings report on May 15, 2023 on the Form 10Q for the quarter ended March 31st, 2023. And this is going to come out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, so this is going to be pre-market. So I expect some wild action on the stock tomorrow. That normally happens with earnings. Could be shorted, could be dumped, it could be pumped. You just don't know what's going to happen because there's already a lot of news out there. But running through again the latest Jaguar news, Jaguar Canalevia CA1, Jaguar Animal Health's FDA conditionally approved drug for chemotherapy-induced diarrhea in dogs, is now available from Chewy. This is great news. Chewy is probably, I believe, the largest online retailer of pet medications. I know I've used them, and I don't buy my food online, so I think it's just dog food. I think it's just a waste and it's kind of impractical as far as shipping. But for medicines, it's a very good idea. And with some of these newer drugs, whether it be for people or for animals, getting good distribution is one of the hardest parts. So I think getting onto Chewy is a huge win for Jaguar Health. And good news there. Let you read that. It's over on Yahoo Finance. Also, located over on the Jaguar Health website if you want to check it out over there, either location. Also, May 10, Wednesday, May 10, 2023, more news off the wire. Pardon me. Um, Jaguar Health launches AI-powered web portal to support patient access to Mytesi, the company's FDA-approved prescription drug. I know with Mytesi, they've tried to streamline their distribution network. They brought on specialty pharmacies, but it's been a little bit difficult in terms of patients getting reimbursement. They're trying to bring costs down. So, Jaguar Health, we remain committed to reducing access and reimbursement barriers for Mytesi patients. One key challenge we often hear from patients and their healthcare providers is that payers and insurance companies frequently require prior authorization to approve medication reimbursement. It can be time consuming, need lots of information, blah, 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 said Ian H. Wendt, Jaguar's chief commercial officer. Artificial intelligence, like OpenAI's generative AI language models, is an innovative and powerful tool that allows providers to expeditiously communicate their professional judgment by significantly reducing the time and complexity of drafting letters of medical necessity. We believe our user-friendly interface, which employs an open AI language model, will help make this otherwise burdensome process easier and faster for healthcare providers to navigate in a compliant way. And it goes on to talk about how physicians feel about these prior authorizations. If you've ever done medical billing, prior authorization basically means you have to get the insurance company's authorization in advance of doing the treatment in order to get reimbursement afterward. It's part of medical billing. Our entire insurance system in the United States is just a huge, cumbersome mess. You have to put in prior authorizations, you have to put in reimbursement requests, you have to put in supporting documentation. It's not like the doctor just gives a prescription and the medicine magically, pops into the patient's hand and the money goes from the, from the insurance company to the pharmacy and then from the insurance company to the doctor. All of these things, all of these moving parts have all of these sort of draconian, inefficient methods. So this is really exciting because artificial intelligence is the way of the future. A lot of people, really criticize Jaguar Health as sort of this joke of a company. I really don't think that's true. They have had a lot of problems in the past, but they're trying to use technology in a edge way to make their drug more accessible to patients, easier for doctors to prescribe, and just easier all around. And that will improve sales and that will drive revenue for shareholders. So, also, Jaguar Health completes enrollment of its pivotal phase 3 on target trial of crofelemer for. Sorry, guys. So, Jaguar has completed its pivotal phase 3 of on target trial for crofelemer for prophylaxis of cancer therapy related diarrhea. And guys, this is the holy grail if you are a Jaguar investor, is the FDA P3 approval for the cancer indication. So Jaguar has completed enrolling 256 patients in the company's global pivotal phase 3 on target clinical trial for crofelemer. And if you want to talk about sales, company is currently doing about $12 million in sales for the HIV indication, but that is a very, very small population of patients that are still on HIV drugs that are causing a lot of problems with diarrhea. On cancer, it's the exact opposite. A huge amount, a surprisingly large percentage of patients either stop or modify their cancer treatments because of diarrhea. A lot of patients die, a ton of patients are hospitalized. So, this cancer indication is going to make sales of HIV look absolutely like nothing. And the readout is coming very, very quickly. If you noticed, incorporated with all of that pipe language that CEO Lisa was talking about, she had mentioned that the readout from the P3 trial is expected this October. So this is going to be a very quick P3 trial. I believe could be completed within 2 years very easily. And upon P3 approval, this drug is going to, the sales are going to explode. Compared with, again, the HIV indication, cancer treatments are hundreds of times the magnitude of the problem and should lead to hundreds of times the sales. So, Jaguar shareholders, it's a mixed bag, which is really the best you can hope for because Jaguar usually just kicks you square in both nuts day after day, quarter after quarter, year after year. Again, if you purchased a share of Jaguar Health before all the reverse splits and dilution, it would have been worth about $1.5 million or something. Today, it's worth $1. That's the way things go sometimes with penny stocks. But you have to look at where you are today. What do you think this company's worth? Current market cap's about $14 million. I would like to zoom back out and just go over the shorts. There is a very shady sort of disguised short on this stock, in my opinion. Short score is at 74. Estimated share of the free float shorted is only 7%. That's down from 21% 3 months ago, but that's because, again, there was only about 2 million shares at that point. Now there's about 14 million because Jaguar just constantly dilutes. And that goes back to the old kick in both nuts that we constantly experience as we, buy these Jaguar shares, hold them, whatever we're foolish enough to do. But, I want to go over one critical element with you. The days to cover, the shares on loan, all of this stuff appears to be going down. But cost to borrow in the last 3 months is up 470% from 16% to 96%. Why would that happen if the short has completely let go? It wouldn't. Likewise, utilization was up just slightly, was 98% 3 months ago, 99% today. With a ton of dilution, you don't expect to see utilization at 99%. I believe there's a big short on this stock in the dark pool. I believe this data is completely inaccurate. Even if you just look at 7 days, which would have been post dilution, cost to borrow is up 44% in the last 7 days. And utilization has gone from 100 to 99. So if utilization is flat, dilution is up, why is cost to borrow sky high? Doesn't make any sense. Guys, we have earnings coming up tomorrow before the bell. Should be exciting. Don't expect a lot of surprises. Basically, the important part are any new forward looking statements, any new announcements, any new deals. Very excited about NAPO in the EU. They seem to be firing on all cylinders. Jaguar Health. It's been certainly a tough ride for the Jaguar investor. Are there better days ahead? I don't know. Looks like it certainly could be a possibility. With a little more cash in hand, a lot more dilution, same old song for the Jaguar investor. I appreciate you guys watching this video, taking your time on a Sunday. My name is DannyDealz. This show is Un Poco Mas, where we try to give you just a little bit more. The stock is Jaguar Health, ticker symbol JAGX. Please share your thoughts on Jaguar and diarrhea and any other matters you find of import on this Sunday down in the comments. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Have a great Sunday. I'll talk at you tomorrow once we get this exciting earnings report and hear from CEO Lisa. Thank you.